the legions of Rome, the undisputed masters of the ancient world. For centuries, their disciplined ranks and gleaming steel had carved out an empire that stretched from the sands of Syria to the misty isles of Britannia. They were the blade of civilization, the shield against the barbarian hordes. But in the dark forests of Germania, a different kind of war was brewing. A war not of grand battles and glorious charges, but of shadows, whispers, and the brutal efficiency of the ambush. This is the story of how a cunning chieftain and his underestimated warriors inflicted a defeat so devastating it shook the foundations of the Roman Empire and forever changed the course of Western history. This is the story of the Teutoburg Forest. The reign of Emperor Augustus was considered a golden age for Rome. Peace and prosperity reigned. But beyond the Rhine frontier in the vast, untamed lands of Germania, tensions simmered. The Roman governor Publius Quinctilius Varus was tasked with consolidating Roman control, imposing Roman law, and crucially extracting tribute. Varus, a man more accustomed to the comforts of Rome than the harsh realities of the frontier, underestimated the fierce independence of the Germanic tribes. He saw them as disorganized barbarians ripe for Romanization. He was about to learn a very different lesson, orchestrated by a man who knew both the Roman world and the spirit of his own people, Arminius. Arminius, a chieftain of the Treacherous tribe, had served in the Roman army. He spoke Latin, understood Roman military tactics, and had even been granted Roman citizenship and the rank of equestrian. To Varus, Arminius was a trusted ally, a tool to pacify the other tribes. But beneath the Roman veneer, a burning resentment festered. Arminius saw his people being oppressed, their traditions eroded, their lands exploited. He was about to turn Rome's own strength against it. Arminius secretly began to forge alliances among the various Germanic tribes, the Cherusci, the Marsi, the Chatti, and others, putting aside their own long-standing rivalries for a common goal to drive the Romans out of their lands. He used his knowledge of Roman customs and his position of trust to deceive Varus, feeding him false information about minor uprisings while preparing a far greater conflagration. Varus, blinded by Roman arrogance and lulled into a false sense of security by Arminius's treachery, was convinced his authority was firm. He prepared to move his 3 legions, the 16th, the 19th, and 19th, from their winter camps towards the Rhine. These were not just any legions. They were seasoned veterans, the backbone of Roman power in Germania. Little did they know they were marching into a meticulously crafted trap. In the autumn of 9 AD, Varus and his legions, along with their baggage train and camp followers, marched into the dense Teutoburg Forest. Arminius, feigning a local dispute that required Roman arbitration, led them away from the open roads and into the heart of the treacherous woodland. As the Roman column stretched for miles along narrow, muddy paths, the trap sprung. Suddenly, from the dense undergrowth, thousands of Germanic warriors emerged, their war cries echoing through the trees. Spears, axes, and clubs rained down on the unsuspecting Romans. The Romans, accustomed to fighting in open formations, were caught completely off guard. The dense forest negated their superior training and discipline. Their heavy armor hindered their movement in the narrow paths and tangled vegetation. They could not effectively deploy their pilum or swing their gladii. They were like cattle in a slaughterhouse. Varus, realizing the extent of the betrayal and the hopelessness of their situation, ordered his men to form defensive circles. But the relentless onslaught from the hidden enemy made any organized resistance nearly impossible. The Germanic warriors, fighting on their home ground and fueled by a desire to protect their freedom, pressed their attack with savage intensity. For days, the carnage continued. The Roman legions, once symbols of invincible power, were systematically butchered. The difficult terrain prevented them from maneuvering effectively, and the constant barrage of projectiles whittled down their ranks. The cries of the wounded and the dying filled the forest. Arminius, the former Roman ally, directed the slaughter with cold precision, exploiting every weakness in the Roman formation. He knew their tactics, their strengths, and now their utter vulnerability in this environment. As the situation became utterly untenable, Publius Quinctilius Varus, in despair and shame, fell upon his own sword, choosing honorable suicide over capture and humiliation. Many of his officers followed suit. For the surviving legionaries, there was no escape. They were hunted down and killed, their bodies left to rot in the forest as a grim testament to Rome's devastating defeat. The Battle of the Teutoburg Forest was a catastrophe for Rome. 3 legions representing a significant portion of their Rhine frontier forces were lost. The numbers were staggering: an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 Roman soldiers and countless camp followers perished. The news of Varus's defeat sent shockwaves through Rome. Emperor Augustus, according to Suetonius, repeatedly cried out, "Quinctilius Varus, give me back my legions." The psychological impact of the defeat was immense. It shattered the myth of Roman invincibility and marked a turning point in Roman expansion. Rome never again attempted a large-scale conquest of Germania east of the Rhine. The frontier was effectively solidified, shaping the future political and cultural map of Europe. The Germanic tribes, united by Arminius's victory, had successfully defended their independence. Arminius, the traitor in Roman eyes, became a hero to his people, a symbol of resistance against imperial power. His cunning and the devastating ambush in the Teutoburg Forest serve as a timeless reminder that even the mightiest empires can be brought to their knees by those who know the terrain, understand the enemy, and are willing to fight for their freedom. The dark forests of Germania had drunk deep with Roman blood, and the empire would never be the same. The rustling leaves still whisper the tale of the Teutoburg Forest, a testament to a victory born not of superior numbers or technology, but of cunning unity and the brutal efficiency of the ambush.